The consolidation of the Kievan state, Prince Ihor and Princess Olha.
Prince Ihor and the beginning of his reign. The earliest Kievan chroniclers of the 11th century began the history of the Kievan state with Prince Ihor, who was already known at that time as Ihor the Old. They paid little attention to his predecessors, Rurik, who never ruled in Kiev, and Oleg, who formally served only as the guardian of the young prince. Ihor was the son of the Varangian prince Rurik. After his father's death in the year 879, he remained a minor heir, and therefore Prince Oleg governed the state. Ihor began to rule independently around the year 915, following the death of his regent. By that time, Kiev had already become the center of a large multinational state. Various Slavic and non-Slavic tribes were under the prince's authority and recognized the supremacy of Kiev and its Varangian dynasty. Immediately after assuming full power, Ihor faced serious challenges. The most dangerous were the Drevlians, a powerful tribe that refused to pay tribute to Kiev after Oleg's death. The prince launched a campaign against the Drevlians, defeated them, and imposed an even heavier tribute than before. Ihor also fought against the Ulikians. According to German sources, the Ulikians possessed more than 300 towns and were one of the strongest Slavic tribal unions of that era. Like his predecessors, Prince Ihor continued the policy of military campaigns against the Byzantine Empire. His first major campaign took place in the year 941. The forces of Rus operated successfully along the coast of Asia Minor, but they suffered defeat during the battle near Constantinople. The Byzantines used their most feared weapon, the so-called Greek fire. This incendiary substance could burn even on water and destroy enemy ships. 3 years later, Ihor organized another campaign against Byzantium. This time the conflict ended peacefully, and the empire agreed to pay tribute.
Following these campaigns, a new treaty was concluded between Rus and Byzantium. However, this agreement was less favorable to Kiev than the treaty negotiated by Prince Oleg in the year 911. The main reason was the failure of the naval expedition of 941. It is noteworthy that most representatives of Rus who signed the treaty bore Varangian names. This indicates that the gradual assimilation of the Scandinavian elite into the Slavic population was still ongoing. The oath associated with the treaty was taken according to both pagan and Christian traditions. In the years 944 and 945, the warriors of Rus carried out another campaign into Transcaucasia, but it produced no significant political results. Soon afterward, an event occurred that brought Ihor's reign to an end. While collecting tribute in the lands of the Drevlians, the prince decided to return for an additional collection. This decision angered the local population. The Drevlians revolted and killed the prince together with his retinue. According to the Byzantine historian Leo the Deacon, Ihor was executed in an exceptionally cruel manner. He was tied to 2 bent trees that were then released, causing his death. After Ihor's death, power passed to his wife, Princess Olha. The Drevlian Prince Mal took advantage of the situation. He stopped paying tribute to Kiev and effectively declared independence. In the year 946, Princess Olha brutally suppressed the Drevlian uprising and restored Kievan control over the region. At the same time, these events revealed the need for reform in the tax collection system. As a result, Olha introduced important administrative reforms and established clear rules and tribute rates.
The chronicle tells the famous story of Olha's revenge for her husband's death. According to tradition, she ordered the execution of the envoys sent by Prince Mal, who had come to propose marriage on his behalf. Another Drevlian delegation was burned alive in a bathhouse. Later, Olha ordered the killing of many Drevlians during a memorial feast held in honor of Ihor. The final act of her revenge was the burning of the Drevlian capital, Iskorostan. Historians still debate how accurately the chronicle describes these events, but they remain among the most famous episodes in the history of early Rus. After suppressing the rebellion, Olha traveled throughout much of the territory under Kiev's control. She reorganized the tribute system and established fixed payments for each region. The previous method of tax collection was known as polyetia. Under this system, the prince personally traveled through subordinate territories to collect tribute. The collected revenues were used to support the princely court, the army, and the administration of the state. Olha established her residence in Ihor, near Kiev. On the 9th of September in the year 957, Princess Olha visited Constantinople and was solemnly received by Emperor Constantine VII Porphyrogenitus. This event became an important chapter in the international history of the Kievan state. During her stay in the Byzantine capital, Olha converted to Christianity. According to the chronicle, the emperor held the Kievan ruler in such high regard that he even considered marrying her. However, Olha skillfully and diplomatically avoided such an outcome. After returning to Kiev, she attempted to persuade her son Sviatoslav to accept Christianity as well, but without success.
Even after Sviatoslav reached adulthood and began leading military campaigns himself, Olha continued to play an important role in state affairs. In the year 968, the Pecheneg laid siege to Kiev. The city found itself in a difficult position because its main military forces were absent. The chronicle preserves the story of a brave young man from Kiev who managed to pass through the enemy camp and warn the forces of Rus about the danger. Thanks to his actions, help was summoned and the Pecheneg were forced to withdraw. After returning to Kiev, Sviatoslav lifted the siege, but soon departed on another military campaign. In the year 969, Princess Olha died. Before her death, she requested to be buried according to Christian rites, without pagan ceremonies. Princess Olha became one of the most outstanding female rulers in the history of Ukraine. As early as the 11th century, her image acquired special significance in Kievan Rus. Metropolitan Hilarion compared Olha and her grandson, Volodymyr the Great, to the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great and his mother Helena, who had promoted Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. The chroniclers described Olha as the herald of Christianity in Rus. Around the year 1007, her relics were transferred to the Church of the Tithes in Kiev by order of Prince Volodymyr the Great.
The significance of the reigns of Ihor and Olha. During the reigns of Ihor and Olha, the authority of Kiev was strengthened, tribal separatism was suppressed, and the system of government administration was organized more effectively. The Kievan state expanded its influence across most of the territories of present-day Ukraine and Belarus, as well as the regions surrounding Novgorod, Smolensk, and Pskov. It was during this period that Kievan Rus finally emerged as a powerful state, capable of conducting an active foreign policy and defending its borders.
Dear friends, if you like to study the real history of Ukraine, I would like to ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and spread the information. I will be extremely grateful to you for this. I wish you all a good mood, health, and inspiration. See you in the next video. Goodbye.